Anybody hear me now? Hello? Hello, hello. Test, test, test. Testing. Testing, testing, testing. Okay. Can you still hear me? Thank God. Okay. Gee, Merry Christmas. I did a Windows update, and it's almost like it reset everything. So I was sitting there wondering, I was like, what the hell is going on? I mean, it was just, and it's slower and crap now, too. Anyway, let me... All right. Sorry, I had to text my girlfriend. Okay, so good evening to you guys. I'm feeling great, feeling good. No more sickness. Strep throat is not fun. I did lose 10 pounds though, so that's the bright side. So while I am going to talk just a minute, I'm going to log into my TD Ameritrade, and I'm going to get the futures chart up. But right now, you can look at the Bitcoin daily chart, and let me get my pointer focus going. Hopefully, you guys can still hear me. Otherwise, it could be ugly. Let's see, pointer focus. Stream good. Everything, guys. See everything good. Everything looks good. Stream good. Sounds good. Everything looks good? Just one more time, just verifying. Never know with this stupid microphone. Sorry to keep asking, but you guys can still hear me? Yes? No? Yes? Maybe? Okay. I'm going to assume that's a yes. Hang on one second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Sorry, I accidentally hit the pause button. Can you hear me? It's out again? You gotta be kidding me. Okay, there we go. I'm sorry, guys. I had accidentally hit the pause button. My bad. All right. So anyway, I'll go back and I'll start over real quick. Apologize for that. So when you look at Bitcoin, right, and after this big old drop, and I've talked about it for quite a while, right? This big drop right here and average, right, before rejecting off that. Well, we rejected a little bit sooner. And so, here we are, and we're just stuck in a range. And I'm going to show you the futures chart here in a minute, but we're stuck between Fibonacci moving averages, at least on the futures chart. There and here, really, but the charts are a little bit different as far as where the Fibonacci's line up and where the moving averages are, because the futures didn't open until 2017, 2018. So this includes all data going way back. So that's why there's some differences in some moving averages. But anyway, look at the Bollinger Bands. They're real tight. Even though we had a nice move today and a nice possible reversal candle pattern right here. Okay. We had a bullish engulfing right here. We didn't make a new low. Okay, but then again, we didn't make a new high off that move. So let's watch this. I mean, I'm not just all fired up and bullish just right now. I mean, until I see things come together now, I do believe we'll probably get like a red alert coming up here fairly soon. But I just don't think right now is the time for it. Just not seeing it. But that doesn't mean you can't play this if you don't want to. But the reason I was like, why are you doing something one way or the other? You're guessing, right? You're just, in this mess right here. I mean, you've got to be quick and guess right, or switch over to a 4-hour chart. But you get almost the same kind of mess. I mean, look at this, guys. Ever since that little pop right there, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and here we go up again. This is ranging and it's consolidating. The question is, what is it consolidating for, right? As long as we're above the 200 and the 233-day moving average, things are good. I actually put in an order last night for 6,600 and didn't even come close. So it's getting tighter and tighter. Right? So just be careful out there on Bitcoin, right? I mean, I know everybody's thinking, oh, God, I had a great move today and we're on our way to 10,000, whatever. I'm like, come on, guys. Really? We were saying this back here. They were saying it back here and they were saying it over here. It's like, just get off of it. This is just ranging and going nowhere just yet. I mean, which actually turns out to be pretty good for altcoins, believe it or not. And I'm sure you guys probably saw my comment that I posted on Twitter and I still believe it, is that I think a lot of these things are going to go to zero, right? And I'm not talking about like XLM or ZRX, some of the majors, even though they could. But a lot of those junky ones, the ones that are at 1 sat, 2 sat, those things are going to go bye-bye, right? Doesn't mean that somebody can't try to pump them, but I wouldn't be putting my money on them. I'll tell you that right now, especially in this environment. I said I'm going to pull over the futures chart, and I'll just let you guys take a look at it. Let's see here. And I'll show you the other part of what I was talking about as well. Let me get that over to a daily. Okay, and so this is kind of like my thinking, and I'm going to change my cursor color, or my pointer focus color, so you can see what I'm pointing at. If I can find it, there it is. All right, and there we go. Okay, so here's what I'm looking at, okay, that doesn't get me all too fired up and bullish just yet, right? But right here, I'm going to show you, this is the 50-day moving average, right? That's the simple moving average. See how it's hooking down? It's hooking down, and we got this upper Bollinger Band right here, okay? Right there, you've got the 100-day moving average, and up here, you've got the 200-day moving average, okay? So there is a lot of resistance, okay, between here and there. And there is 8,600. But the bigger area to get past, in my opinion, now is 7,600 on the futures. Okay? And let me let me get this expanded out so you can see. The question is going to be, and this is actually, just this slow stochastic, even though it wants to look like it wants to go up, is it going to go up here and test this at 7,500? That's possible. Very possible. But the upper Bollinger Band is there. These things are really tight. But the squeeze indicator, see the red dots? That's why it tells me stay away. I'm going to stay away. I'm going to stay out of it. I ain't risking it. Right? That's just chop. It'll chop you to death. And that's the best way to lose money. The good news about this is that the 10 and the 20 are just almost right on top of each other. The EMAs, they are just right, look at that, right on top of each other. Okay? And just holding that area. Here's your support zone down here, this fib cluster, which is a strong one. Right? That's a 38.2 and a 78.6. That is very strong support. Up in here, I think that was, let me see, that was, 61.8 and a 78.6 fib cluster right there. From two different areas, right? So that's strong resistance. So we've got, this thing, when it wants to go, it's going to go hard either direction, right? Preferably, I'd like to see it get above the 50 and past 8,000. But I'll know, hopefully I'll know something in the next day or two when this thing finally goes just like back in here where it was flat. That's when I start giving red alerts right there. When there's no histogram, that just tells me that we're getting ready for something. And especially when you got the slow stochastic kind of hooking up a little bit, shows some strength. Lower Bollinger Band support, that's kind of a no-brainer for up move right there. Right now, we don't really have a no-brainer just yet. But hopefully we'll know something in the next day or two. So any questions on that, guys? Any questions? Hopefully sound is still working. All right, I'm going to try not to babble on too much, but I just wanted to catch up on, I'm trying to catch up on everything since I was sick and haven't done a live stream in a while. All right, so that's your futures chart, right? So just chop, chop, chop. And I'm going to change the pointer focus over and we'll go look at some other stuff here. Actually, take that back. While I got that up, let's go ahead and look at, real quick, while I got this chart up, let's go look at the triple Qs. And this is one that last week, you guys remember me telling you that I took some puts right back in. I think it was that day right there. In fact, it was the end of the day when I bought the puts because I was like, eh. And I mentioned Hanging Man Candle, right? And then Gap. And then we got the big flush down to the 50-day moving average. And I was like, okay, it filled the gap. 50-day moving average, I'm selling. Got rid of my puts. And thank God I did, because today it was up huge. But what did it do? It came up here and filled the gap. So I may regret selling those, but, or at least not buying back in today. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. Oil made a nice rebound. I don't know if that's going to last. There's talk that the economy's opening back up. Things could just get, really super bullish. But I got to see it first. I'm not going to, that right there, trading off that candle pattern was kind of a no-brainer for me. But anyway, we'll see what happens tomorrow, and we'll play it by ear. Squeeze indicator is still just kind of losing some momo here after the big run right there. It's starting to lose some momo on the bull side. And that's a triple Qs. Let's go look at SPX. By the way, there are still 1-2 gaps to fill down lower. And there's still this gap up here to fill on the high side. Every other gap has been filled. Okay, so if you're playing the stock market, and I truly believe that, and this is just me thinking, this just reminds me so much of, 2000. It really does. I saw monster, bear market rallies, and then all of a sudden it sold off hard, so we'll see what happens. Numbers aren't going to be pretty in the next few months, obviously. But then again, we have one thing to deal with that back then we didn't, is that all the Fed did back then was lower interest rates, right? It still took the economy time to turn around, but this time the Fed is pumping in so much liquidity right now that Greenspan didn't do back then. But this is we'll see. There's a lot of liquidity out there, and so if the economy gets going again and people are back to work, this thing could just go a little higher, but it's still way overvalued. It was overvalued back here. I think it's still overvalued right here. But we'll see how it plays out. Okay, any questions on that? And we'll take a look at SPX real quick. S&P 500, and that was another one. It hit that almost like a 1-to-1, expansion move right there. That move equaled this one. That's why I had that 100% right there. And it was getting close to the 618. The only thing about this is that this upper Bollinger Band, we'll see what happens here. It looked like it was coming in. This one's still coming up as support. And things are actually still holding the 20-day moving average. Okay? Right? Held it right there. Still got a gap here, and you got a big gap down here, so that's why I'm thinking longer term, we'll see how it shakes out. Maybe somewhere around election time, or, I can tell you right now, if Biden gets elected, this thing's going to hell in a handbasket. So we'll see what happens. What else? And no offense to any Democrats out there, okay? I'm just saying the guy's a buffoon, and he can't seem to remember anything. He can't talk right. It's scary. And you got the 50-day moving average right here that's acting as resistance. Okay? So keep all that stuff in mind. All right, so I'm going to get off all the stock market stuff for now. Do you guys have, now that I've stopped babbling about everything, do you have any questions or any specific charts you want me to look at? Phone lines are open. chart requests. Oh, and by the way, how about DGB, right? Look at this guy. This thing's about to blow right through that resistance. You gotta love it. It was just a matter of time when these moving averages all came back down and got close to each other, and this thing takes off. I mean, there's still a good probability it probably pulls back into the 100 range. Maybe it's got to come back and test the 10 at some point. But anyway, we'll see. Masked Ninja. Yeah, let me take a look at ETH. I actually have a little bit of that one. Let's see. Nice move today. Recaptured the 200 and 233 day moving average. Still holding above. Wait a second. Let me look at that candle pattern. Oh, yeah. That's a beaut. Okay. So here's what I like about Ethereum, right? It outperformed and actually has been outperforming Bitcoin quite a bit. But look at this. Whereas Bitcoin on the reversal pattern, right, that you're seeing here, you got two big red sticks and then you got a doji indecision. And then the next day, the bulls recapture, and it goes above the body of that red stick. That's huge. That's a big move. The key is going to be to see if there's any follow-through, right? Last thing, bulls want is for this thing to sell off hard and come right back down here. Okay? Okay, Todd. Yeah, I'll get to Neo here in just a minute. But that's a big-time reversal move, and I love that it happened right off the 200 and the 233. That's big time. So, we'll see. I mean, if as much as I like Ethereum right here, you would think it would drag Bitcoin with it. So maybe things are going to play out to where Bitcoin hits that 7,500 area, because it sure looks like Ethereum at least wants to break 190. The area you're going to watch is this big red stick right here, the top of it. That's at 194. Just watch this little area right in here, because that's where this guy came in. This big red stick right here. That was a big sell-off right there. So there's somebody that sold a bunch right here. We'll see if they're still there, right? But right now, it looks like at least wants to try to get up there and maybe test that. But we'll see. That could be in the next couple of days. But I like it. I like the way it looks. We'll see if it drags Bitcoin with it. All right. So let's go look at. Did that help, Mast? Mr. Ninja? Did that help? Okay, hopefully it did. Todd, let's go take a look at Neo. Oh, very nice. Good for you. Good for you. Okay, Todd, you wanted to look at the weekly chart. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I would say we got some major consolidation going on right here. On the weekly, right? I mean, we've got consolidation going on since December of 18. Actually, further back than that. This thing's going on a year and a half, a little over a year and a half of consolidation, right? So, again, like I was talking about on DGB, you notice when you get like these big moving averages like this, but they're so far away from price, right? You can always keep your 10 and your 20, distance-wise. That's when it just, price just keeps dropping. Once you finally start to get the 10 to break, then the 20 comes down to meet it and flattens out, right? You're still down below wide apart moving averages, right? A lot of people don't know this, but when you look at the distance between the moving averages, that's just bigger resistance, right? So once you get the 10 and the 20 to line out, then you get the pop and you come up and you test that next moving average. Now, these are all starting to bunch together, right? They're getting real close. It's tried to break out a couple of times, right? Right in here it tried to break out. Did make a lower low from over in here, but did hold this area of support over here. So in that $5.50 range, that is great support. What you would want to see is NEO. I would say I would like to see NEO on a weekly. I'd like to see it get above and close 825 to 850. You know, somewhere in that where that 10 and the 20 EMA is. Get and close above that. Then you can come over and take on this candle right over here. I like how it's coming off the lower Bollinger Band, which is good. We can see what happens when it does that, right? Lower Bollinger Band, big move. Lower Bollinger Band, big move. Close to the lower Bollinger Band, move. So maybe this thing's got, if things really get rolling, and if Bitcoin can kind of just stabilize and not do anything stupid, then maybe alts are back in play again, and you might get this move right here. Let's do a fib retracement, and this will be on the weekly, okay? But let's go ahead and look at this right here and just kind of see where things line up. There's probably going to be something right around where that, where the 10 and the 20 are. Is it the 30? Yeah, the 38.2, 50, and there we go. Now it's the 1272 on there. I'll get rid of that 161. Okay, so here, like I said, here's your area, right? In this area, that 850 area, maybe even $9. Break above that 38.2 and you're in business, right? Break above the 38.2, close above it, boom, you're in business. And then maybe you can take out that 50 EMA and get things to, I still think it's a little ways away, but maybe you can get this thing to come down a little bit and then curl, and then you start your, your little uptrend. Right? But this right here is basically correcting that big red candle right there. That's correcting that move. So for this thing to show some strength, you want to see it bust through that. You know what I mean? So does that help, Todd? You can actually go look at it on a daily chart as well. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, look at this. I mean, we're getting ready to get some really decent moves coming up here soon, guys. Just be prepared for it, right? But these Bollinger Bands right here are so tight. Look at the 10 and the 20 right on top of each other. You got your 50 right above at the upper Bollinger Band. I mean, if NEO can break this area, again, it's gonna hit that, close to $9 range, and then possibly come up here and test this big bad boy red candle right here, which so happens to be where the 200 and the 233 is. So kind of liking it for a move up here to 950, but we'll see, right? When these Bollinger Bands get tight, you could either get a retest and then a snap, or you could just get the snap and then a pullback and maybe continuation, which is what we're all hoping for, right? Unless you're short. All right. Any other chart requests? Let's go look at Link. You know what? Actually, let's go look at real quick. while we were on the weekly stuff. Let's take a look at DGB. And look at this. It hasn't even really got started yet. I mean, this is like unreal. This thing was almost 1,000 sats, dropped all the way down to 680. I mean, and look at the beauty of this, guys. I mean, this obviously it's going to get a pullback at some. It's the 50 EMA on the weekly chart. And look at this bottoming action right here. That's beautiful stuff right there. So I'm going to be one of those that says, DGB buy the dips. And look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth week in a row of a green candle. Fifth week in a row of a green candle. But it is hitting this big support area or resistance area right in here. And it's got a big fib cluster coming up right here about 140. So, let's see. N4, I will take a look at ADA, and Kyoto Wave, I will look at LTC as well. Let me get back over to daily charts. Let's see. N4, did you want, guys, when you want your chart requests, please tell me if you want the USD pair or the Bitcoin pair. That'll help me out a little bit. And while I'm waiting on N4 to respond about ADA, I'll go look at Litecoin real quick. Rather interesting how it, slow stochastic didn't even get into the oversold area. It just kind of is trying to reverse off that. Still has a challenge with the 50 EMA right up here. 10 and 20 are right on top of each other. So again, it's kind of that same thing, guys. Once this thing starts to break either way, the 10 and the 20 are going to lead the way, either direction. Okay? Either direction. Okay? And I still, right, on Litecoin, I'm still looking back. Okay, and here's the thing on Litecoin. Okay? Notice back in here when it hit 48. Okay? You see this candle pattern? It's a 3-candle pattern, but that is a big reversal pattern, right? And Bitcoin or Litecoin dropped, right? As soon as it tries to get bullish again, had a bullish engulfing right here, then up in here, what was the 18th and 19th? You get a bearish engulfing, so it's rejecting again. But the good news about this is that it did not make a lower low, at least not on that drop, right? But it is just consolidating in this area for something. What that something is, I do not know yet. I do not know that answer yet. Okay. So that is Litecoin. Let's go over and look at ADA BTC. Okay. ADA. Okay. Let me make sure my fibs are right here. I don't know where I drew this from. That's been a while. No, I think I can get rid of that. And let's see. Actually, I think I'll just kind of start over here. So it did at least hold. No, let's get rid of that as well. Let's just start over. And let's just take a look at what we got here. Nice double bottom, right? You had a bottom here. Big wicks off these bottoms too, right? So this area down in here around 400, there are big time buyers, big time support, and then you got that pop, pulls back, didn't even want to test that, it came close, right? But you got this nice little, uptrend going right there. Now let's look at the fibs and see what our potential rejection zones might be. And I don't know that as far as, there we go. So 38.2, that's going to be right up there around 525. I do like this though, okay? And this is one thing about ADA. If you'll notice back in here, when Bollinger Bands got tight, see what the 10 and the 20 did? And they went right through the 50 and the 200, 233. 10 and 20 was leading the way. And if you look at the 10 EMA, each time ADA pulled back, it came right back to the 10 EMA and then went higher. Okay? Until it came up here and had this bullish or bearish engulfing and that dropped things. Look what's happening right now. 10 and 20 are hooking up. Okay? It's broken past the 50, past the 200, and past the 233. So, what are you going to do? If you look at past history, a pullback to the 10 EMA would not surprise you, would it? That would be right around 500 sats. So somewhere in that area, if you have not bought already, then you may look at that area, maybe even the 20 EMA. And you're not talking about a bunch of sats here, right? You're talking about 10 to 20 sats, but you're talking about pulling back to this area and seeing if it holds support. And if it does, then boom, it's going to take out the 38.2 and more than likely come up here and test that 50% at 555 and probably even get up to the 61.8. So you got a very potential, big move here that could happen. All right. And just for giggles and grins, let's do this as well. See if we get any kind of fib cluster. It looks like a 1272. We'll see. Nope. I was way off on that. Maybe the 161? Nope. Okay, no fib clusters. So we'll get rid of that. 38.2, that'll be your next target. Hopefully you get a little bit of a pullback, right? Maybe even hold by tomorrow. That 10 EMA is probably going to be up here where that 233 is, and you'd kind of like to hold that 500 to 505 area. So keep an eye on that. Okay. Next chart request, please. And I got you got the dog in here. She does not bark. She's a good little girl. Okay. Chart requests. Can't believe you guys are going to make it easy on me tonight. Got to be something else out there, right? Oh, you're welcome, Infor. And you too, Kyoto. Yep. I think we're consolidating, right? Nothing wrong with consolidating. I know everybody and their dog is just, and I say everybody and their dog, but I think everybody is just so anxious for something to happen. But you got to remember what's going on in the bigger picture outside the world, right? What's going on out there, and hopefully they can get this COVID-19 under control. We don't want to see any more deaths, or and hopefully infections are way down. Let's see here, Todd, ENJUSD. Let's go look at her. ENJ. Have I ever looked at that one? Let's see. ENJ. Wow, I don't even have that one on there. Okay. Let's ENJ USD. Engine. What's that? Okay, so ENJ. Okay, why did that not pull up? ENJUSD. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh my gosh. That's interesting. Sure looks bullish to me right here. But it's just kind of riding this upper Bollinger Band, and you guys already know how I feel about that, right? I mean, at some point you pull back. I mean, it's done it like 1, 2, 3, 4 times. It's been outside the Bollinger Band and pulled back to the 10 or the 20 each time. Let's go look at some fibs on it, and let's see what kind of resistance zones we are looking at. So basically it's hitting the 61.8 right now. Actually, it's breaking this little area right over here too, but you got to wonder, 61.8, is that a false breakout? You know, you got to watch that as well. And then obviously your next resistance is going to be up here around, what is that, 13.138 cents? Almost 14 cents. So, I mean, stochastic RSI is getting close to oversold. Me personally, and obviously I put it in the deal, guys, is that none of this is financial advice, okay? This is just my thoughts and my thinking. I like the move and the way the Bollinger Bands are spreading out. I just prefer that maybe it pull back in a little bit and hold this area right in here, right? This was resistance, and then it broke through, right? So if it pulls back, you want to see it hold 10 cents or 10 and a half. You want to see it hold 10 and a half cents, okay? 10 and a half cents. Now let's call it 10 to 10 and a half, right? That still keeps it bullish. And, you know, it's, look at this, 10, 20, 50. They're all trying to hook up. That just looks really good. So, good one, Todd. Very nice. Hope you're in it, or I hope you got back into it back in here, or, you know, maybe down in here, hopefully. But looking good. All right. Let's see. Sebastian, VET BTC. All right. Let's go take a look. Vet. Okay. Wow. This one might be getting ready. Let's do some fib retracements. Let's go from this top to that bottom right there, and basically it hit the 61.8 right there, right? Let me do something like this. Let's do that to that bottom right there. Okay. So 61.8. You know, I like how it's the 10, the 20, and the 50. They're all right there bunched. It looks like it wants to go. You know, it doesn't look half bad, right? Doesn't look half bad. I would, if you're playing it, here's my thoughts. Obviously in this area, I always tell everybody, do not go all in on one thing. Never, ever, ever go 100% on anything. there's nothing wrong with taking maybe 25% of your capital and going in, right? That way, if there's something else that comes up, you've got, cash to burn, right? You can throw it on something else. Or if price goes against you, but you still feel strongly about it, and maybe it's just a little bit of a pullback, then you can add another 25. You don't want to risk 100% of nada. I mean, nothing. That's a good way to go broke. So just follow the plan accordingly and make sure, especially in this market, guys, make sure you're taking profits, right? You don't want to just, if you're following the trading plan that I've put out, you should be in decent shape. If not, and you're just going 100% in and 100% out, then you're playing it real risky, okay? You're being real risky with your money. I'll tell you that. But as far as vet goes, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't see any problem, maybe doing a 25% type deal here, As long as it's holding that, look at this, as long as it's holding that 20 EMA, things look good, right? We'll see. Let's see. Yeah, volume, I mean, it's consolidating, right? I mean, there hasn't been a bunch. This thing just kind of, but you get, look back here. You had big volume on the down move, but then somebody came and bought it right back up right here. Okay? Back here, somebody's buying. Okay? Now, it sold off from that high, but somebody is accumulating this thing. This isn't somebody selling this. Somebody is accumulating this. Now, whether that be some sort of pump and dump or news or whatever, I have no clue. But you can almost bet your bottom dollar that something's coming. Anyway, that is VET. What else is out there? Am I forgetting? Oh, yeah. Let's go look at, here. I always keep these guys on the front page because these are big movers. Link held that support. Had a nice, little reversal right here. Break past 385, and your next target is going to be right up in that little zone right over there, 423. Okay, and it's had some decent volume, right? It's been one of those. It's almost turned into a cult trading, crypto. People love to just trade this one back and forth, and I think at some point, good Lord, if it gets up here and breaks 5, who knows what the hell is going to happen. Another one that people like is XTZ, and that one had a big reversal. And this one actually is up here testing these old highs over here. So if it breaks 235, 236, see how it's testing this big boy over here, this big red stick? Look at that. Get above that 50% retracement. It almost looks like it just wants a beeline right for here. That's a fib cluster at 280. It almost looks like it wants to just, that is where it's almost destined to go. And then what happens after that, all bets off the table. But it's one of those that, these moving averages are looking bullish. It can get scary at times, right? Because, you're looking at this and you're like, upper Bollinger Band, it's going to break out and just skyrocket higher, right? It doesn't work that way in most cases. But then it just reverses off that, scares the crap out of a lot of people, comes back here and just soaks it back in. Somebody is buying this. Question is, who's selling over here? So there's a battle going on, a battle royale. Somebody sold it big time over here. We're going to see real quickly if that seller is still there, right? I would almost think that whoever was selling here was selling a little bit right here and a little bit right there. So this thing has a little bit to chew through, but if it can get, I'll be interested to see what's going to happen if it can get past big boy red stick over here. If it can get above 255, 256, that could be a fun one to watch. What else do we got? Oh, yeah, and I put crude oil up here the other day. Look at that. Can anybody believe crude oil went on the May contract? It went negative, like negative $40. So somebody was actually paying somebody to take their oil. It was craziest crap I've ever seen. I've never, in all the years I've been trading, never, ever, ever seen anything like that. A negative futures contract. Unreal. Let's go look at ETC. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. Keep an eye on ETC, okay? I mean, and I'm talking like keep a close eye on this thing. We've seen what it can do in the past, right? This thing it was consolidating, looked like crap. Nobody wanted it, and just hung around that $3.90, $4 area. And then all of a sudden, within like 2 months, it busts a move up to almost $14. Well, it's sitting all the way back down here around 5 again. I think it still has a little bit more consolidating to do, possibly. But man, that's one to watch, right? I'd say keep that one on your radar. Not saying to buy it right now, but I'm saying keep it on your radar. What about Cult Stock XRP? Or Cult Crypto XRP. 38.2 is your area to get past. Break that, and it's very simple. You come up and test the 50% retracement and your 200 and 233-day moving average. Pretty simple stuff right there. What else we got? Anything else you guys want to look at? I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I'll let y'all. And guys, if you would do me a favor, hit the like button if you like what I'm doing. That would help me out. Mucho gracias. XLM BTC. All right, let's go look. XLM. There she is. Wow. Okay. It seems like I remember somebody maybe in channel was talking about this one not too long ago. Wow. That move right there. Look at that bullish engulfing candle. I mean, this thing was, pulling back a little bit, and then all of a sudden people that wanted to short the heck out of this thing got their heads ripped off on that candle right there, and it's just been blasting right through. So let's go do some fibs on it. Let's look at this swing high down to swing low. And let's take out, looks like 78.6 is what's coming up. And I'll throw a 1618 on there also. Okay. Interesting. If you're in it, I would think about, maybe taking a little off the table at the 78.6, only because, probably 8 out of 10 times, I would say, maybe 70 or 80%, that 78.6 is going to hold on the first try, right? And then you might get a pullback, and especially when you're outside the Bollinger Bands and approaching the 78.6, I'm real hesitant to buy it right here. Okay? I really am, because I'm thinking this thing has to pull back and at least test maybe down in this area around 735. So watch for maybe a pullback down to here, which the 10 EMA should be right in that area, possibly by tomorrow, maybe a little bit above it. So just watch for a little bit of a pullback coming. Crypto. And Todd, I'll answer that in just a second. Crypto Creek. So my thoughts on Bitcoin right now are, as I just see it more chop for right now. It's just ranging, right? And I'll pull back up the futures chart here in just a second, but it's just stuck between like a couple of fib clusters. One's a resistance, one is a support. And it's just fluctuating, and there's like a big battle of bull versus bear right now, And so, in fact, go look on Twitter, and you'll see people talking about it going down to 3,000. You'll see them talking about it going to 8,000 or 9,000. It's almost like in fact, the questionnaire I put out there the other day was, what's going to come first, 6,000 or 8,000? And at first, I had a lot of people answering 6,000. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, okay. And I think at the time there was like a bullish engulfing candle that happened. And I just posted it out there. I was like, has anybody not seen this bullish engulfing? So there's probably, if you wanted my guess, right? My guess on this, I think we hit 8,000 before we hit 6,000. Okay. That's just my opinion. Let me get back to XLM just real quick. Anyway, so that's kind of what I got, Sebastian. Kind of what I went over. Just, I think there's resistance right here, and then support right down in here. So I'm looking for a little bit of a pullback. Now, I will say this. If this thing just decides to break out and go past the 78.6, then this high over here I don't think is going to mean crap. I think it probably moves all the way up over 900. It's just, if it gets that kind of Momo going behind it. But my guess, it probably pauses right in here a little bit, and especially since it's above the upper Bollinger Band. But we'll see. I've been wrong before. I just don't like it to get too far away from the EMAs. We saw what happened over here. Almost looks ironically similar. But outside Bollinger Bands, and then it pulls back hard. So it's like musical chairs, guys. Don't be the last one standing, right? Let's look at the weekly. Yeah, and that looks pretty good too. I like that. I wish I had seen a weekly of this a while back. Nice back-to-back dojis right here, and hammer candles, actually. That's like bottom here, and then this one here. Just in case you didn't hear me, that's the bottom. That's almost kind of what the chart's telling you. It's like, okay, this is a bottom, and then the next week, just in case you didn't hear me, I'm just going to tell you again, that's the bottom. And then it takes off. It's almost like the chart said, okay, I get it. It's bottom. Yeah, and it just held that support right there too. This XLM looks pretty good. Now that I'm seeing like some of these alts that have been around for a while, some of the good ones like, XLM, I think has always been one of those that's going to be around, but you see them hold in the support right here, and God, just makes you think this thing can just break out like no other. But we'll see. You know, it could just, you know, pop, upper Bollinger Band, just kind of stay in range for a little bit. But then again, you never know with Momo. All right, so that is XLM. Yeah, XLM. Yeah, it should see a pullback. I'm not calling for like a big pullback. No, as I said earlier, probably in this 730. Let's call it 740. 740 to 750 area, right in here. That'd be a sweet spot. And I'd like to see it, like, you know, hit this 78.6 and then maybe have like a 2-day kind of pullback, you know, and just pull back right into this area and just let you know, all these people that, you know, take profits or short sellers, whatever, and then let it get down to this range and just bounce off that 10 EMA and just take it right up here. That's kind of what I would like to see. That would be healthy. Okay, let's see. What else we got? Anything else, guys? And you got me for about 20 more minutes. Then I might have to get off and call it a night. So 20 more minutes. And then I'll tell you what, because I'm such a nice guy, I'm going to do another live stream tomorrow. Now that I got everything working, and I should hopefully be home at a decent time, we'll have everything squared away, and we'll do another live stream and see what else we got. But I need to catch up on my videos and live streaming, and so I'm going to make up for it after being sick. Okay, what else we got? Anything, guys? Anything else? I got oh my God. DGB is just, there it is. Look at that. Just broke right through that resistance. Wow. I love it. I love it. Well, let me get rid of that. And there she goes, right up to test the fib cluster. That really, I would think, is going to probably hold it for now. We'll see. God, DGB's got some Momo going. Oh, you're welcome, Match. You are welcome. Anything else we need to look at? I haven't looked at a dominance chart. Oh, yeah. This is good for alts, right? Dominance chart just kind of coming right back down to this, trying to get back to that trend line. Still kind of holding that area. Yeah. That actually is going to help alts for a while, you would think. Okay, anything else I'm missing? Let's go look at, let's go take a look at, let's look at maybe some ETFs. Let's see, biotech industry. Okay. Hang on one second. All right, so I want you guys to look at this real quick, okay? This area right up here, and this is what people would call an island gap, okay? See how this gapped up, and you get things kind of consolidating a little bit, 3-4 days. My thinking here is one of two things is going to happen. This is going to gap down, or it's going to gap up, right? This is called, you get the gap, right? And here's your island. That's the island it's living on right now. And when you get an island gap, if it gaps down, then this is dropping hard, right? IBB. That's the biotech industry. Okay? This thing's had a nice run, but we'll see what happens, right? That's, just keep that in mind what that is. When you look at it and you're like, what the hell is that? You can see what happened over here. It did the up gap, right? It did, look at this. Island, and then gapped up. Now it's on another island. Does it gap up again? We'll see. Gold bugs. Wow. Okay, gold miners just broke a high. Interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting. Crude oil on the continuous contract. Wow, hitting. I should have bought some. $9, $9.81, and then hell of a bounce back inside the Bollinger Band, of course. What else do we got? Let's go look at the banking index. Yeah, not really liking it. Probably one of the biggest things you guys should look at is, if you're looking at how the economy might be going along, look at your Russell 2000. This is the ETF for it, IWH or IWM. Doing a nice job of holding the 10 and the 20. 50 EMA is right here, but cannot get past the 38.2. If it cannot break the 38.2, then this thing is going like this, and the stock market will be in big trouble. And personally, I don't see how it can't, just because of, a lot of businesses going out. They're going under. Right now, it's just a shame to look at, because a lot of these small businesses are just taking it in the butt right now, while the big corporations get all the help. Sad. Very sad. Sorry to keep rambling. I'll get off that. Any questions, guys? Chart requests? You guys just want me to keep babbling? I'll go check in on Bitcoin one last time before we head out. And again, just kind of meandering right in this area until we get a break either way. We're not at red alert, by the way. Despite this move today, we're not at a red alert. Still, actually, I gave a yellow alert the other night, and technically we're still under that, but no red alerts just yet. And you guys will be the first to know in Discord. Okay. Any more questions, guys? If not, I'm going to go ahead and check out. Questions or chart requests? All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. We'll probably end up doing this again tomorrow night if you guys are around. But you guys have a great evening. We will chat soon. As always, I'll be in Discord, and if anything comes up, I'll definitely give you guys an alert. Y'all have a great evening. Thanks.